Over the last week or so, BSG has been sharing a bit of information about what we can expect in the upcoming patch. Now, we already have a lot of Q&A information that BSG has already been sharing with us, but there are some specifics that BSG has been repeatedly confirming now that we're getting closer and closer to patch time. So this video is going to cover that. It's going to cover a new teaser for a new boss and my predictions for when the, patch is going to be occurring. Seems that that's the thing we're supposed to be doing now when we're talking about current events related to Tarkov, so I guess we'll do that. Really quickly, just a quick PSA. If I seem like I'm a little bit off in this video or possibly in subsequent videos, it's because, unfortunately, I've got a lot going on. This isn't me trying to garner your attention through sympathy or anything like that, but I'm just one of those people that prefers to vent my frustrations about certain aspects of my life, whatever, on the internet. It's just how I've always lived when it comes to content creation. I see no sense in trying to hide things. People start asking questions, and I figure it's just easier to let everybody know. If you've been watching my streams, you know that I've been live an awful lot, especially recently. As of yesterday, for this month, I've been averaging a little bit over 10 hours a day when I've been live, which puts me a little bit over or somewhere around 200 hours live, plus the uploads that I've been doing to YouTube. So if you include like video editing and time spent recording and scripting and all this other stuff, I'm well over probably 225, 250 hours so far this month. We all have mental health things going on, and content creation has always been a way for me to try to escape that. A lot of what I do is also an escape for people that view me. So in a lot of cases, we're all in the same boat together, which is probably the reason why we get along as much as we do. Anyway, suffice to say that there's always people around that tend to do a little bit of trolling, and while I don't typically mind, lately I found myself a little bit more harsh and a little bit more fast and loose with the timeouts and bans and stuff, especially on other social platforms. It just seems like a sign of the times recently. A really close family member, someone that has been instrumental with my upbringing, unfortunately got diagnosed with a very terminal form of cancer. They're undergoing severe, very, very heavy chemotherapy right now that has been very, very hard on them. And the truth of the matter is it's inoperable unless the cancer seems to shrink from the chemo. I don't know if that's going to be something that actually happens or not. So through that and some other things that have been going on just from normal day to day, my capacity mentally is not there really at all. I'm kind of emotionally shot. I'm very, very sleep deprived. It is what it is. And like I said, I'm not trying to garner any sympathy from any of this. It's really just to let you guys know if I seem like I'm a little bit off, that's a lot of it. Watching somebody close to you have to go through that is extremely difficult. The powerlessness of having to sit on the sidelines and watch somebody go through that and know that you are absolutely helpless to help them in any way other than emotional support is rough. So if you don't want to have to bear with me over the course of all of that, I completely understand. I'm not asking anybody to stay here. I love that you guys are subbed to the channel. I wish that you would continue to do so. Just ticked 90,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. And I am forever grateful and always thankful for everyone that has supported me either through eyeballs or donations or tips or subs on Twitch. I mean, you name it, it's an awesome thing. But should you guys decide that you don't want to be here anymore because of this or some other reason, I completely understand. I'm not trying to keep anyone here. I just really wanted to let you guys know what was going on. So if I seem like I'm a little bit off for a little while, that's pretty much why. Anyway, on to the rest of the news stuff. On the lore side of things, BSG released a tweet here that talked about how Zriyachi and the Red Scav ended up butting heads a little bit, and there's 4 screen names of people on the top. I would only assume that these are the people that ended up killing Sanitar the most from the Sanitar event where he was located on customs at the fortress, like 100% spawn chance over the course of a weekend. That has obviously since ended as of the beginning of last week, where Sanitar basically ended up leaving and they got a labs key card. The letter said that they found one of the Blue Stripe Labs keys. There was question as to whether or not going to Labs and unlocking that door would end up, giving us anything interesting, and the answer is no. It looks like it's just another step in the lore related to this Sanitar event and Zriyachi, Red Scav looking for his dad. Time will tell if they end up dripping another thing for us, but so far that ARG had gone absolutely nowhere. Going back a little bit further, on the 3rd of November, they also ended up giving us some teaser images for streets, this being the first one, which looks like a jail. This being the second, which is a little bit more of a downtown urban-esque cityscape with, you can see a tram here that's a little bit defunct and some old fire trucks, fire engines. One looks like a small ladder engine and then a tank truck. And then third, that looks like there's some type of a breach or underground bunker system that ended up having a hole breached into it somewhere, I guess in tunnels, possibly below streets. So it looks like there's going to be some underground sections, which is a little bit interesting. Also, we had a message that they posted where the Sherpa program, as of a few days ago, is celebrating 4 years. And then we have this video here that BSG gave us as a teaser this morning, showing people being sniped. Now, in the distance, perched up on the cliff, right at the lighthouse, we have our boy Antler Man. Take a nice close look at him, gents. Rocking the old antlers, the deer antlers in the AXMC. Antler Man, avenging deer everywhere, fighting against meat eaters, champion of veganism. I don't really get what the deal is with the antlers and the cult boss tie-in. His name is Zriyachi. There's been a few teasers that have been made for him and his name and different lore letters that have been posted over the past a couple of years, which means that he's a long time coming. We were told in a podcast, I think a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, that there were supposed to be 4 bosses on Lighthouse, one of which was going to be a sniper boss in the upcoming patch, whenever the hell that's supposed to be, which, by the way, I think is going to end up being somewhere on or around like the 16th or so of December. I'm going to say somewhere around like the 15th to 16th. That's going to be my guess. If only because it's a solid week before the Christmas weekend, and it gives them an opportunity to have a weekend rush come in for the patch, get a good number of gamers in there, get a lot of bug reports, hopefully get a patch or two to fix it, and then gives them the ability to hopefully get a little bit of time off before they end up themselves taking time off because they follow the Orthodox calendar in Russia. Well, at least in St. Petersburg. Anyway, Zriyachi in this video anyway was using a suppressed AXMC. Looks like he's incredibly lethal and incredibly accurate. But we just, around here, we just call him Antler Man, or a lot of people have been calling him Sriracha, which I think is also really good. He means sighted, or like the one who sees. Something similar to that anyway. I think I'm pronouncing his name right, but it's something very similar to Zriyachi. Anyway, the name is fitting, obviously, for someone that has the ability to just snipe the lights out from however far away he was, 200, 250 meters using that AXMC. It's going to be interesting to see how all of that plays, if we're going to be able to see and or snipe him, and how far away he'll be able to see us. Especially considering how Lighthouse is laid out, and if he is up on that cliff, they'll give us an awful lot of vantage points to be able to snipe him if he ends up outside of that terminal range. But, you know, we're not, because humans. But yeah, Antler Man, Sriracha, Zucchini, all the variations are really funny. Although I'm sure there's going to be people that speak Russian that aren't going to think it's any funny, but hey, you know, whatever. So in addition to all of that, we also have the confirmation of this last piece, which is this Pump Like Tagilla event, where we got a bunch of people in some like little office gym doing some lifting up and putting down of heavy things. Anyway, the whole point of that is there's this Pump Like Tagilla event where they're trying to get people on socials to post videos of them lifting weights in like USEC and bear gear. So I guess don your patches and start hitting a heavy bag or something with like a USEC patch on your t-shirt. Whatever. The point being is that I guess this is somehow going to accelerate the release of the gym. So in the upcoming patch, I would assume they're going to include a gym for us to be able to work on our soft skills when we are, I guess, AFK, or possibly have like a passive crafting mechanism that gives us like a timer to be able to up certain XP amounts. This would actually be pretty good for people that don't have as much time to play. It gives them an ability, gives us an ability to be able to level those things up a little bit more passively inside of the gym. I'm going to assume that those skills will also be augmented by like levels of hideout, or like quality of materials inside of the hideout for the gym part. I guess we'll have to see how they end up like really building it out. Some type of internal cooldown or one of those types of deals, but should be able to allow people that have a little bit less time the ability to keep up with the guys that know life it all day and every day. As a friendly reminder, the patch that is supposed to be coming is also going to include streets. Included in that is also going to be yet another skill rework, so that should be interesting to see, and some things that they're not going to tell us. I think that's the majority of like all of the big stuff over the last week or so, although we did go back back to the 3rd of November for the Streets tease. That's pretty much everything that I have for this one. Thanks so much for sticking around, everybody. Thanks for dealing with me. Thank you for coming and lending me your eyeballs. Please give me a follow on my socials if you would be so kind, at OnePegMG on Twitter, at OnePeg on TikTok, where I usually stream simultaneously. I'm working out an audio issue, but usually stream simultaneously on TikTok and twitch.tv/OnePeg, where you can see me every day starting around 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you guys in the next one. Please consider subbing the channel here if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Peace.